the day before yesterday, a parcel arrived in my mailbox. Now I was kind of surprised as to what it was, because I didn't really order anything. Well, it turned out to be something very interesting from a chap called Sean. And he wrote me a nice little note down here, and he's made this little toolkit up here for doing these things here, the ball joints. Unfortunately, Sean, you didn't give me an address to write to you, but he's got like an instruction sheet here how to use it, and I think we might have a go on this ball joint here. But first of all, let me just say a little bit about these, because a lot of people are changing them over to Discovery 1 style, where the ball joint was in the drag link. But a lot of people still can't get these off. Now you have to be really careful about getting these off. I mean, I've seen people heating them up and hitting them with big hammers, but unsupported underneath, and what that means is you're actually bashing all the bearings and all the teeth inside that steering box, and it's not very good. What you need is the proper tool. Let me go and get it. I've tried all sorts of pullers to get these drop arms off, but the daddy of them is this one. It's a Britpart one, believe it or not. It hasn't broken yet. Mind you, there's only 2 pieces with it. I modified it somewhat by putting a little dimple in the bottom of here, so I could put a ball bearing like that, because then that will go and centre on the shaft coming out of your steering box. And believe it or not, that really works well. You know, it'll go under your arm and you can get it off. But I'm quite fortunate to have that, because I do quite a few, but you might not. And this is what comes up with this kit that Sean's sent, because this is the Britpart kit. It's very primitive, but it actually does work quite well. But there is one difference with Sean's kit that I noticed, and it stood out straight away. So let's open it up and let's have a look. I need a knife. So there's the instructions, and that's a drag link. So we've got a ring here, spacer, a more fancy spacer type thing. We've got this. It seems to be in stainless steel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Is this in stainless steel? Oh no, that's in regular steel. Steel. And we've got a bolt with a spacer on it, and 2 other bolts here. So why has he gone to all that trouble of making more parts than the Britpart one? Well, it seems pretty obvious, because it's one thing that's missing in the Britpart one. Trying to get the circlip out of here. You're laying on your back and you're trying to get a pair of pliers around that, and you remember there's a spring in there. And of course this kit here will help us put the cover back on and the circlip with no tears, because you know what it's like, you're under the car with a trolley jack and a socket and trying to hold it in place while you put the circlip in. Not anymore. So let's have a look and see how we can get this off. Now I'm just going to give this a bit of a clean up, because I just dragged it out of my shed. This is a left-hand drive one, so it won't it's the same left and right. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, let me get this washed up and we'll see. I've got a kit here. I'm a bit reluctant to open it up to put it into one of these arms here, because to be honest I have a box full of these, and I don't really rebuild much now. But let me clean it up, because you might find this interesting. Okay, so I've just cleaned it up. First thing I'm going to do is get underneath this rubber ring here, this spring ring. Take this off, or pull it back, and let's get under that rubber and see if we can pull this off. Now, this is my favourite type. It's got a lip on here, so that spring clip thing that goes around here will stay on. There are some that's just done in like parallel. they're hopeless. They're really difficult to get right. So we'll clean up a bit more of that mucky old grease. And then we shall use the tool. That goes over the top. And then we've got 2 bolts here. Come down here. And attach to this here. Now we'll have to pretend we're actually on the car, but this is how it works. You get it? Just like a little press. Well, like I say, he has put some thought into it. I just wished well, I'll tell you what, Sean, if you see this video, contact me and I'll put your details in the description below, because I can edit it, but I can't edit the video, but I can do that for you. Now, we need to get to the circlip, which is here. See? Can you see it? That's what we want. So we need to tighten those bolts down, and I forgot to get a spanner. Back with the spanner. 13mm. Doesn't need much. Now that should have compressed this so we can get this circlip out. Now I've got a couple of circlip pliers here. I've got a very fine point one. Look at that. Straight away. Good little device, isn't it? I bet we could use that for all sorts of things. Don't tell Sean. So that's helpful for a start, because that's under a controlled demolition, because the spring clip remains around the post here. It doesn't go flying off over next door's fence. So we can take that off, and we can alleviate very gently the pressure on the spring. Because like I say, it's got a very powerful boingy spring in there. And when I came to Canada and I first took cars for inspection, every time they used to fail on these ball joints because they didn't know there was a spring in them. I got so fed up, I took a kit with me and the workshop manual, and I says, they have got a spring in them. He said, oh no, it's loose, it's not right. Little did they know, eh? Right, let's put this back together so we don't lose those parts, because we're going to use them again in a minute anyway. So right, so that we've got that and that off. There we are, we've got that and that off. Now we should be able to get this out of here. Ba-ding! God, you think I'd planned all this, didn't you? So this looks pretty well greased up. So, and it's old grease as well. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean all these bits up. You can see them now. I can't see my camera today. I'm all over the bloody place. Get all this lot cleaned up, and then we can see if we can get this bearing out of here. Well, the seat. Okay, so I cleaned up the parts, and they were remarkably good. I was kind of pleased with that. There's no corrosion or anything on that, and I put it through the wet bead blaster, and it's come out really nice. So we can rebuild this kit, just change the oil or the grease in it. So the next thing we're going to do is take out that top race, whatever you want to call it. We're going to use this bolt, that spacer, yeah, and this, I'm not sure which way around that goes, but I don't think it really matters. What does it? Well, we'll try it. I'm not sure. I should read the instructions. I've said it. Just like everybody else, we'll just go at it. 2 19mm. There we go. So we're out. Not too much doing, did it? I guess we could have put that the other way around. Yeah, I think it should have gone the other way around, but it doesn't really matter. So we've got that. Put that back together. And there's our little top race. And again, it's in nice condition. So I'm going to just put that through the wet bead blaster, clean it up and see what it looks like. Right, so the seat is looking beautiful. So we're going to put it back in again. Just going to make sure there's no dirt at the bottom. The nice thing about this type of tool is it doesn't damage the seat. If you start banging around with chisels and stuff, you can actually knacker up the seat from the inside. You see that bit inside there? If you're hitting it with a chisel, you can damage it. That's best to be avoided. Now, getting it in the right way, that's important. So that bit goes in like that, and that's where this little bit comes in. So I guess we put that, that's why he's got that ring on there. Aha. We don't need that this time, but we need this. Now, put it through here first. Now, oops. There, so we've got that in effect. So I'm just going to sort of nip it down with the gun. You could do it with spanners on, I suppose. And that's all there is to that. That's a nice idea. So there we are, we've got the seat in. Looking good. I'm going to go and get some grease. Now a lot of people ask me why I use red grease, but this is low temperature grease we get here in Canada. It works quite well. It's not brake grease. Let's get confused about that again. So let's put this in. Let's put the ball in. Ooh. There we go. Now, we don't want that, but we want now the little seat to go into there. We'll give that a little bit of a greasing up. Like I say, yours will probably be all rusted up and buggered up. But this is just a sort of a demonstration because I haven't really got an old rusty one. I thought this might have been rusted actually. So now we're going to put the cap on with the spring. Which way does the spring go? The pointy bit goes to the bottom, like that. Alright? Now this cap here, doesn't matter which way round that goes, but some of you have probably drilled these out and put a grease nipple in the bottom. You can do that, but with this kit I suppose you'd have to take the grease nipple out first. Alright? Just beware of that. Because you can always put it in later, can't you? So let's put this through here. This through here. I need about 6 hands. I like this little clamp, I really do. I'm impressed with this. The days we've all gone through using trolley jacks and sockets, fighting on in the rain outside, and next door's dog's going at your leg, and oh, want to carry on. You want to get this job done over and done with. But it does save taking the arm off. You know what I'm trying to say? You can get away without taking. You know, you don't have to take the arm off, which is a pain. It really is a pain. So let's wind that down a bit. Oh, tell you what, let's put the circlip on first then. I know everybody's saying, oh, put the circlip on. There we go. That wasn't too bad, was it? I'm going to put the top on my grease. Now we can progressively tighten that down. And that will compress the spring. One thing about grease, everything sticks together. You can probably see there where it's compressed down. So now, with a bit of luck, and like I say, I haven't edited this, I'm just sort of doing it live, but taking out the pausey bits. Circlip pliers. Imagine doing this under the car. I've got one side in. Let's try these with them. That might be better. Alright. Does that need to go down a bit? I don't think so. Maybe. There we go. Sometimes the problems with circlip pliers is, you see where the ends are here, the points hit the disc, they're a little bit too long and you need to push down. Well, you can't because you push through the holes. Right, I'm kind of satisfied with that. I'm going to back that off somehow. This is a very old ratchet. There's no resistance in the pivot, you know, look at that. I'll have to take it off. There we go. Take this off and put it I'm going to find a nice box for this. I think I've got a little steel box somewhere to put this kit in, because it's going to. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this. Because, like I say, it doesn't take long to do the job, as you saw. And of course, the last bit is just the cover. And again, we'll put some grease in there just to stop the weather. It is a bad idea. I don't know why they didn't put the ball joint upside down, you know, so it didn't get full of water. But you could do this as part of your regular maintenance schedule every week. Right, so let's put that down there. Let's put that over the lip, and then we can get this little spring clip over. This is so much easier than those other type of clips. It's like a double C-section. Not a C-section like having a baby type C-section, but you know the type. And there we go. Now, there's supposed to be one round the top. I think I'll stole it, but that's it. That's all there is to it. And like I say, if you have a grease nipple drilled into there, you can put the grease nipple in now. And that, my friends, is that. So well done, Sean. I hope you do well out of that. I hope you get some feedback. But if you write to me with your details and costing and stuff like that, we'll see what we can do. and I'll write it below here. Alright, see you later. Ta-ra.